Hello, welcome to Reality Theory, episode 16, Tucker Carlson, Hunter Biden, and affirmative action. I know people might think I'm picking on Hunter Biden, but this is actually me picking on the whole system. Like, I post on Reddit a lot of accurate facts about Hunter Biden, and I get a lot of comments, oh, you must be from the right, you must be a Trump supporter. I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not right-wing. I don't like the government either. I don't like Republicans. I don't like Democrats. They're both corrupt. And I think we need to point it out and point out like they work together while they have us working class people fight against each other. So we're going to look at right now how Tucker Carlson and Hunter Biden used to be good friends and how Tucker Carlson even reached out to Hunter Biden to help him get his son into college. Now, Tucker Carlson has been anti-affirmative action, and he talks about meritocracy. People should get into the schools on the merit of their character, not nepotism, not the color of their skin, not who their daddy knows. But at the same time, he's talking about meritocracy. He's reaching out to his friend, who I think he knew was on crack at the time. He said he knew he was struggling with addiction, reaching out to a crackhead to get his son into Georgetown College. So let's look at some of these emails between Tucker Carlson and Hunter Biden and see how the right and the left are buddies who work together at the expense of working class poor people. And it should not be a fight between the right and the left. It should be a fight against regular people and the elite, who Tucker Carlson and Hunter Biden both are. The Democratic politicians and Republican politicians are both the elite who control the country, and they divide and conquer us by having us fight over issues like affirmative action, while they have their own affirmative action that they use to keep themselves in power and keep themselves rich. So let's look at these emails without a further doubt. All right, so here is Tucker Carlson's wife writing to Hunter Biden. Dear Hunter, Kathleen suggested I reach out to you. Don't you love it? I always push people Tucker's ways too, his favorite thing. Our son Buckley is applying early decision to Georgetown. It is his absolute first choice. I hesitate to ask you to do any more than you have already do in a day, but Tucker and I would be so grateful if you could write a letter or speak to someone in the Georgetown admissions office about Buckley. I realize that you don't know Buckley. So they're asking Hunter to write a letter of reference to someone he doesn't even know. Like, how do you do that? Like, you don't know this person, but you're going to write about them. Like, that's crazy. Maybe you can meet or speak to him, and he could send you a very brief resume with his interests and grades attached. His early application is due November 1st. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks so much, Hunter. I hope we see you soon. Lots of love, Susie Carlson. Hunter Biden says, hey, sorry, I just got this. I will do anything you would like me to do. Susie Carlson says, Hunter, you are so thoughtful. I don't know how comfortable you are writing a letter without talking to Buckley first. He applied early to Georgetown, and they are making their decisions by December 15th. Buckley won't be home until after that, as we are heading down to Florida for the week of Thanksgiving. I could send you a brief resume, or you could write something after meeting him during his Christmas break. He will likely be deferred anyways. Let me know your thoughts. Tucker and I have the greatest respect and admiration for you, always. Hugs and kisses, Susie. Hunter writes, send me a resume. And is he applying to the college or SFS or business? You don't know how much help I can be, but I'd be honored to write a recommendation to President DeGogia. Susie Carlson writes, thank you so much, Hunter. This is from Tucker. Terrific. Buck is applying to Georgetown College. Please edit as you see fit. I think it's best if Hunter writes the president in time for his letter to affect the early decision process. Super great of him to do this. Thanks a lot. I love you. Okay. He finished up junior year with A's in all 6 courses at St. George's English Marine Science, Spanish 4, Algebra 2, U.S. History, and Ethics. He wasn't taking calculus in his junior year. Okay. So far this year, he's got an A in all 3 AP courses he's taken, English, Economics, and Western History, as well as pre-calculus. He got a B+ in physics. That's not very good to get into an Ivy League or prestigious school if you're getting a B+ in physics. He's been on the honor roll every semester since he started the 9th grade. He took the SAT last spring and got a perfect score at 800 on the critical reading section. Okay. He got a 660 in writing and 620 in math. Those aren't good at all. I think I had like a 770 and a 670. And I got into Columbia, which is maybe a little better than Georgetown. And I'm African American. Affirmative action, affirmative action. He's retaking the text next month. Last summer, he did an internship at the Washington Free Beacon news site here in town, and we'll get back to them, which I think fueled his interest in politics and government, and hence Georgetown. This year, he's head of the largest club of St. George's, which amazingly is the Young Republicans. Sounds like a horrible school that he was going to. He's a compulsive reader, especially of history, and a pretty good squash player. I played squash. I went to private school, played squash too. Good for him. So he has a lot of stuff on his resume that I did on mine, but mine was better. Played basketball, soccer. I was part of multiple clubs, drama, acting, music. This is a very weak resume, Tucker, for your son. And I'm an African American. I did better on SATs, better grades, took AP Physics, and I did not get a B+ in AP Physics. I got an A in AP Physics. Okay. He's a pretty good squash player. Buckley also loves the outdoors. He spent a month his junior year on the St. George's sailboat, the Geronimo, learning to navigate a boat and sail from Florida to the Dominican Republic. Wow, he should go to any college because he's a boat sailor. Now, lots of African Americans probably love to sail boats, but it's kind of out of their economic range. Not all of them. I'm sure there's a lot of African Americans with boats. Thanks a ton, Hunter. Really hope to see you soon. Hugs and kisses, Susie. And now here Tucker writes, Hunter, I can't thank you enough for writing that letter to Georgetown on Buckley's behalf. So nice of you. I know it'll help. Hope you're great and we can all get dinner soon. Tucker. Hunter Biden. Hey, buddy. I need Buckley's CV if you have one handy. Thanks. Tucker Carlson says, of course, getting on plane now, but I'll ask Susie to send it right away. Thanks again. It's really nice of you to do this. Okay. Now, this is how favors are returned. So Hunter Biden did a favor for Tucker Carlson by writing the letter for him to get into Georgetown, which he didn't actually. He went to UVA. So I'm imagining that he didn't get into Georgetown, even with Hunter Biden's letter. Those SAT scores were pretty bad. But Tucker Carlson still returns the favor. So there was a big scandal, I think around 2016, while Joe Biden was still vice president, and that Hunter Biden was connected to Ashley Madison website, and everything got hacked and all the names got leaked and Hunter Biden's name was there. So this is such a small scandal compared to what was eventually on the laptop, like him just being on a website for cheaters. And we finding out what he really does. Not only was cheating, he was cheating with hookers, strippers, potentially underage family members, employees, smoking crack, distributing crack to sex workers, which is a federal crime. It's not just possession of crack. He's giving out crack to sex workers, which is the same thing as selling crack, which Joe Biden locked up hundreds of thousands of African Americans for. All right. This whole thing is this. Okay, no, sorry. Just lost my shit on the editor over there. He claims the London office forced him to do it. He's a pig either way, and I told him so. The whole thing is disgusting and awful, and it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart that you all have to go through it. I'm really sorry. Let me know if there's anything Susie and I can help do. So he's trying to squash the scandal. He writes the letter, I think it was the Daily Mail, which is connected to Fox News, and he writes an angry letter protecting Hunter. And he's enabling Hunter in a way. He's saying he's letting him get away with cheating. Now, in the back of Hunter's mind, he's like, I can do anything. And Tucker Carlson will save me from any political scandal because he's my buddy. And I wrote a letter for his son to get into Georgetown. So Hunter says, I'm sorry for even calling you. I know I put you in a difficult position. And upon reflection, as your friend, I should have never done that. I was just so upset that they went to my house and confronted Finnegan. I've been to Delaware in the last 2 months sleeping in my nephew's bed, and it's hard to even get up in the morning sometimes. Eric provided all the information on my background and proved it was not me, not my IP address, not my birthday card, not my credit card, not my birthday, etc. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was you, and you're lying to your buddy. If you smoke crack and cheat with hookers, you probably have an Ashley Madison account. If you drop your laptop off at a laptop repair shop that has thousands of incriminating pictures and emails, you probably are silly enough to sign up for an Ashley Madison account to cheat. Before you found out it might be better just to hire hookers to cheat, which leaves less of a paper trail. You don't need to have an email in someone's hackable database. But they still come anyway. I can take the hit. I'll be fine. But the notion that under any circumstance, whether ordered to by an editor or not, that someone would confront my 16-year-old daughter at my home is just wrong. Regardless, I should never put you in this position. You have your own family of whom I love and your own business, and defending me is not something a friend should ask a friend to do. Tell Susie we love her and miss you both very much. Tucker Carlson says, are you kidding? I'm glad you called. What they did was repulsive and immoral, and I hope I wrecked their day. I certainly tried to. Fuck them. Let me know if there's any way we can help. So pre the laptop, like Fox News going in on the Biden laptop. And it's funny that Tucker Carlson lost this damning evidence on Hunter Biden right before Election Day without disclosing that this is his old buddy. So Tucker Carlson used to like Hunter Biden's nepotism. So they actually interviewed Tucker Carlson about this email. Let's see what Tucker had to say. Hunter Biden was my neighbor. Our wives are friends. I knew him well. I talked to him many times about addiction, something I know a lot about. Are you an addict, Tucker? I don't know. Why do you know a lot about addiction? Maybe I think his mother might have been an addict. Carlson said, and I've said that I think that Hunter Biden is an addict and that's why his life is falling apart. I feel bad for him. I've said that many times and I mean it. But after this, he starts calling him like a crackhead. Like I don't know if he sided with his wife because Hunter was cheating on his wife and the wives were friends. But I don't know what led to their split. But Tucker didn't seem to show too much sympathy for Hunter's addiction when he was calling him a crackhead all these times. All right. And this is what he says, and this is amazing. Shows how full of shit Tucker Carlson is. I can't confirm these emails. These emails that you're referring to were described by our intel community as Russian disinformation, which we all know has been proven wrong. He said, adding that he doesn't have access to the account, so he cannot verify the emails. Okay. So he could have easily verified the emails, I'm sure, and also verified all the other emails, but he didn't because he's still in bed with the Bidens. So why would I? And I read that in the Washington Post. So maybe he's being a little snarky. He's admitting it, but being sarcastic. But he could have very easily verified them. So how did Hunter get into Yale Law School? The same way that they tried to get Buckley Carlson into Georgetown undergrad. Okay. After the price of admission was published, I learned about an instance of a U.S. president seeking to influence an admissions decision. In 1993, Guido Calabresi, the dean of Yale Law School, received a call from the White House. Yale Law's most popular alumnus, President Bill Clinton, asked him to let in a Georgetown University graduate named Hunter Biden, according to two people familiar with the incident. Hunter was the younger son of Joe Biden, then chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and now a candidate for the Democratic presidential nomination, now president. Calabresi, who had wailed off the dean's office from the admissions process at Yale to avoid such pressure, told Clinton that he would not intercede. The admission office then rejected Hunter. Calabresi did meet with Hunter, however, and encouraged him to go for another law school and reapply to Yale as a transfer student. So he basically said, can't let you in now, we'll let you in later. And that's how it got in. So this is nepotism. And so people are so against affirmative action. People want to be judged on a meritocracy, not who these people know, not what their connections are, not who their daddy is, right? And this is nepotism. And I feel if we get rid of affirmative action, then we should get rid of all the nepotism. There should be no big name letters or no fancy daddies getting any preference for their children's school. Now, here is a text exchange between Joe Biden and Hunter Biden about Joe Biden talking about to the president of the University of Pennsylvania about getting Hunter Biden's daughter, Joe Biden's granddaughter, into the University of Pennsylvania. And Joe says, I'm going to try and see Pres Gutman tomorrow. Give me a call tomorrow. Love, Dad. And Hunter replies, hey, Dad, just checking in. Had a great talk with Gutman. Maisie still in the game for regular acceptance, but must do well in class this period. It's real. We should talk about tutors, etc., starting tomorrow. I didn't call Maisie. Call me if you're okay. So this is a series of nepotism. Hunter gets into Yale Law School because his dad knows Bill Clinton. Hunter's daughter gets into the University of Pennsylvania because her grandfather is Joe Biden. Now, I think a lot of people think like, oh my God, it's meritocracy. It's meritocracy. These Black students aren't smart. They're not working hard enough. Newsflash, people cheat. This is what happens when you make such a big focus on test scores and grades. People cheat. People do not see education as a process. They see it as a goal, as an ends to go on and get their new job. So let's look at the 2012 Harvard cheating scandal. 125 Harvard students were investigated for cheating on a final take-home examination. But look, let's look at this. 125 students out of 279. That's almost half. Almost half in one class of Harvard was cheating, right? So what is the ethics of Harvard students? So were they cheating before they got into Harvard? Did they cheat to get into Harvard? Did they lose their ethics when they got to Harvard? Or did they have so much pressure to get into Harvard that they cheated to get in and just kept cheating? Now, this is only 2% of the student body, right? But one thing about like cheating scandals is they caught one. How many did they not catch? Right? How many cheaters got away? In one class, half of the students were cheating. And of those half, 70% would have to withdraw. But let's think about that as just a small case study of Harvard, right? One class, half people cheat. So what does that say about the whole university as a whole? How many students are cheating at Harvard? How many students cheated to get into Harvard? Now, we all remember the celebrity college admissions cheating scandal with Felicity Huffman. And what all these rich people did is they paid this guy, William Rick Singer, a lot of money, and he would make fake pictures of them to look like they were on sports teams. He would get fake people to take the test for them, right? And he would charge them for getting into schools like where? Oh, Yale University, Georgetown, Stanford, and USC. So he raked in $25 million from parents. Now, your average African American does not have $500,000 to pay a fixer, a cheater, to have their students get in school. And again, this is one incident, but how many other incidents did they not catch? So how many of these rich people who have their children in Ivy League and elite universities are cheated to get in? We see they cheat when they're in there. They cheat to get in these schools. It's rampant. All right, so that's it. So again, I am an Ivy League graduate. I graduated from Columbia University. I was, I don't really remember what I did in the SATs, but on the PSATs, I do remember I was in the 98th percentile. I was AP Physics, AP Calculus, AP English, AP History, all that. And I think my average was 90 something, you know, not bad, not the greatest, but I was an athlete, 3-sport athlete. I was in numerous clubs, volunteered, all that. And maybe I wouldn't have got into Columbia if not for affirmative action. Maybe I would have had to go to Brown or maybe maybe another school. I think I still would have been all right. My views on affirmative action is I would much rather see a focus being put on educating African Americans from a very young age, like because a lot of the schools are based on property taxes. So if you live in a poor neighborhood, your school is going to be underfunded. A lot of Black people are in poor neighborhoods with underfunded schools, so it's very hard for them to get the similar education that other people get. And I would like to see that. And then maybe I think if we made a change there, they wouldn't be qualified. I think people think like affirmative action takes like retarded Black people over genius white people. No, that's not true. It's like it might be a 0.1 difference on the GPA, 30 points on the SATs. It's nothing that crazy. And like we're seeing already, these test scores and things are very manipulatable. A lot of people cheat on them. So it's hard to say that. So I mean, people say like judge people on the content of their character. And I think that's very true. But Martin Luther King didn't say judge people on their test scores. So I think if you judge someone on the content of their character, if you have a white kid who went to private school all his life, had all the opportunities, and he gets 1550 on the SATs, 3.9 GPA. But he's around, but everyone else is doing the same. So he's not really exceptional. Now, I had a friend at Columbia University, and he was a valedictorian for his school in DC, and he played on the football team, and he did a lot of other things. Now, he might not have had the same SAT scores, but if you look at his life in perspective, the content of his character is a little more exceptional, becoming what he became, than someone with two Harvard-educated parents, rich, private school, all their lives getting the same grade. So I'm for this for anything, and I think Black people are not monolithic. I think everybody should be judged by the content of their character, not their race, not the money that their parents have, right? So, and I think what's happening right now is they're kind of pitting Black people against Asian people with this whole affirmative action thing. And, salute to Asians for doing well on these tests and getting good grades. But I think the real issue isn't between minorities or even people of color. I did a whole episode on Obama getting into Columbia. He was not qualified to get in Columbia, or if he even went to Columbia. He was not qualified to go to Harvard Law School, and he's Black. He didn't have, you can't see his grades. There's no real proof he was ever at Columbia going there, yet he gets into Harvard Law School. He had bad grades at Occidental. Very hard to transfer to Columbia, but magically, he goes to Columbia. So this isn't a black and white issue thing. It's elite versus working class regular people. So I think affirmative action isn't a super big deal for me. Maybe if I didn't get affirmative action, maybe I'm an affirmative action case. I don't know. Let's say I didn't get into Columbia. I think I would have wound up all right. If I had to go to HBCU, I think I would have wound up all right. It's not too much of a big deal, but I have seen so many great instances with my classmates at Columbia University who have become teachers, principals, and they've given back. And that's why I think affirmative action is supposed to work, is that you give someone a chance to get an education, they come back and they share their education with other people. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work that way. Because of pressure, a lot of African Americans go directly to Wall Street, make money for themselves, become corporate lawyers, make money for themselves. A lot of them do become good doctors. I have a number of friends who are good doctors, and they're surgeons, and they went to medical school on their own thing, and it's hard for me to believe that someone would let an unqualified person operate on some people. So they might not be as super qualified, but there's so many doctors out here going to like Caribbean schools and everything. But anyways, that's it. This isn't it. I'm not coming at Hunter Biden from the right. So anyone want to call me a Trump supporter, and that's why I'm criticizing Hunter Biden. I'm criticizing Hunter Biden and Tucker Carlson, the left and the right. This is all about the poor working class of regular Americans of all skin colors, Black, white, Asian, versus the elite with the money who control the power. And that's Reality Theory episode 16. Tucker Carlson, Hunter Biden, and affirmative action. Please, if you made it this far, you might as well like and subscribe. Go check out all my old videos. This is the 16th one. If you want to know, I'm equal opportunity with my stuff. It's not a black-white issue. Barack Obama did not deserve to go into Columbia University. He did not deserve to go to Harvard Law, but because he had elite people behind him, he was able to get these educations that a lot of us have to work hard for. I worked very hard, studying for my PSATs, studying for my SATs, getting reading, writing, had a tutor, all that, man. It's hard to go to an Ivy League school, even if you are benefit of affirmative action. And again, I would much rather see better elementary schools in Black communities, better high schools in Black communities. So when Black people do have to apply to colleges, they can be judged directly, not only on the content of their character, but by their academics, which I don't think should be just judged by test scores and grades, which people could cheat on. And it kind of makes people to make teachers teach to the test, makes students almost robots and not free thinkers, what I think is horrible. But that's it. Reality Theory, episode 16. Peace.